Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And now that T-Mobile has hit its 300 million pop goal target with 2.5, the opportunity really begins. So, either yesterday or the day before yesterday, Verizon's newly appointed permanent CFO gave an interview with Reuters, I believe, and he stated very clearly in that article that half of their cell sites have been fitted with C-band. So that would mean they touched about 36,500 cell sites if the graph that I've seen recently is accurate. That graph stated that Verizon has a total of 73,000 towers today in its network. So they would, C-band is now on about 36,500 sites. And he stated to touch the other half of the network to get to the 73,000 would take them another 2 years. So they're going to work 24 and all of 25 pretty much to just get C-band on all of the rest of their towers. Now, this gives, from a fixed wireless access perspective, this gives T-Mobile a huge opportunity because they're already there today. Where Verizon wants to go over the next 2 years, T-Mobile is already there with mid-band today. And that includes some rural parts, maybe actually a lot of rural parts. I took a look at some crowdsourced maps and some other maps, and T-Mobile's 2.5 scale beyond the pops is getting very, very big. It's getting large, right? It's geographic expansion now. It's going beyond the pops. So there's a lot of 2.5 out there and more to come. Once they launch Auction 108 or get that cleared and they can launch it, that's going to be more geographic expansion of 2.5 in the white spaces, which will give them access to more fixed wireless access to be sold there. And some of those counties right now, they're sitting at 20, 40, 60 megahertz. With the Auction 108 licenses, that could go to 100, maybe 140, depending. I've seen some that are going to go all the way to 180. So that's going to be interesting to really see what the full potential of fixed wireless access really is and what they're wanting to do in the future. The 7 to 8 million guidance by 2025, I'm already, that for me, that's already done. I know they haven't officially hit that yet. There's still time, but they're at 4.2 million today. They're growing at over 500,000 right before the busiest quarter. They just did 557,000 in the third quarter. This is the holiday quarter, and they're aggressive. They're aggressive on wireless, which is going to lead to fixed wireless access sales, and I can see them doing over 600,000 in this fourth quarter. They're pushing heavy on marketing, digitally and nationally. They are at the 300 million pops with 2.5 now, so they can sell it in all those rural parts too. They're still adding new stores, so all of that helps. And to kind of put some context on the fixed wireless access and how big of a demand there may be for it. Recently, I went into a T-Mobile store for a friend to pick up the Halloween baskets that they were offering for T-Mobile Tuesdays, and the store was packed. Every single sales rep was busy doing something. And I overheard most of them ask about the fixed wireless home internet. Can you check my address? Can you see if it's available? So there's demand for that product, especially in a city like mine where there isn't a lot of options. People are looking for fixed wireless access. And here in my city, there's fragmentation issues, spectrum issues. So T-Mobile might have to actually, take a couple of steps back on pushing the product. I haven't seen them as aggressive. For an example, here, Verizon is starting to send out like little postcards in the mail for people to say, hey, we have home internet at your address. T-Mobile hasn't done that since the early days, since they started offering fixed wireless access here like in the second half of 2020. Like maybe around the fall of 2020 is when they started offering it. And then they were sending out flyers and you got emails and stuff. But now that isn't happening. So they're kind of, I don't want to say they're overloaded, but they're already pretty full across the whole network. That's how quickly I feel they started loading up on fixed wireless access customers. So the 7 to 8 million, I think that's already behind him. I think T-Mobile already knows that. They always guide conservative. So I think they actually come in at a 8 to 9 million by the end of 2025. The guidance is 7 to 8, but I think they do 8 to 9. They usually crush their guidance. They always do it conservatively. They always underpromise and overdeliver. That's something that they do. Again, they did it with the 300 million pops. That wasn't supposed to be to the end of year. They did it in October, so 2 months ahead of time. That was a underpromise, overdeliver. And they're going to do that with everything else. That's why when I look at the finances that they're guiding, the 18 plus billion by 2025 on free cash flow, that's conservative. They're under promising and over delivering. You can see it by the history of the company. They're going to crush that. That's why I say, and I put a recent prediction on X, formerly known as Twitter, they're going to bring the 2026 guidance into 2024. I think they're going to guide in a range that already gets them to the free cash flow that they're guiding by 2026. I mean, that is, crazy under promising and over delivering. And that's because in 2021, when they guided all these changes that are now in effect, that didn't happen back then. They didn't have new plans in rotation that are priced higher. Go 5G Next wasn't a thing. All these fees that they added since, all that wasn't a thing. That wasn't around at that time. But now it's here and it's all different. And the finances are going to show that. Recently, they disclosed 60% of customers are still taking the highest rate plan, even after Go 5G Plus. So those are just some thoughts of mine on fixed wireless access. Some people have been asking me recently, are they going to cut off fixed wireless access in favor of fiber? I don't know. And that's kind of what I'm hinting at in this video. What's going to happen beyond the 7 to 8 million or 8 to 9 million? Are they going to just cut it off at that point? Are they going to, are they then going to pivot to fiber? Are they going to give us another guidance to where they can actually get into the double-digit growth on fixed wireless access? All of that remains to be seen, because with time, right, not everyone is going to stay on this product forever. So there's going to be openings in any given neighborhood with time, right? There might be a time right now where you don't get approved for it, but then several customers leave after a year or two, and then they open up the neighborhood again for more users. So that's something to always look into, right? Always check your availability in your address, in your neighborhood, to make sure. As they add new spectrum on sites eventually, the C-band DoD, are they going to open up a few more slots? Very possible. So all of that is going to be taken into consideration by the team. For me, I'm looking at it from a perspective of them under-promising and over-delivering. I think they do 8 to 9 million very easily, very simple. And I think fiber is the long-term play. I don't think you can use fixed wireless access for the long-term play. I don't know if that CLV is accretive enough. Like, can you really make sure that a fixed wireless access customer can stay on that product for 10 years? That's the type of future that I'm looking into it that far out. Can you keep them a couple of years? Of course. Can you keep them 3 to 5? Maybe, once you add C-band and DoD. But what about the next 5 years? If 4K comes mainstream, if we go to 8K, if we get, who knows, smart mirrors or whatever we get, and you add that to the house, can you support all of that usage on top of all of the mobile usage that's increasing? So that's something to look into. Is fiber the long-term play, the 10-year, 20-year play? I think so. I think eventually also fiber to the cell site for them is also the main play. You just have to reference Verizon and AT&T. If it didn't make sense, if it didn't present owners' economics, they wouldn't be doing it. AT&T and Verizon have very smart people that are running the company at the top, from the financial sector, the CFOs. If it wasn't accretive, if the owners' economics didn't show, they wouldn't be doing it. So let me know what you think about that in the comments. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See y'all in the next one. Peace.